Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some big leaks and updates on the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. And let's just say, this might be one of Samsung's most controversial releases yet. Critics and users alike are calling them out for playing it too safe, and honestly, I get it. After using the phone for a full month, I've seen firsthand that the hardware upgrades aren't as groundbreaking as many had hoped, especially with Android competitors pushing the limits. But does that mean the S25 Ultra is a bad phone? Not exactly. Despite the backlash, there's still a lot to like. Samsung may not have reinvented the flagship experience, but they've fine-tuned what was already one of the best. So, who is this phone really for? And more importantly, who should skip it? Let's break it all down. What Samsung got right, where they fell short, and whether this phone is worth your money. Design, is it really the same? A lot of people are saying Samsung barely changed the design, but I don't completely agree. At this point, there's only so much room for drastic design changes in smartphones, and within those limits, Samsung actually made a few tweaks. The corners are rounder, the camera module is slightly redesigned, the frame is slimmer, the bezels are thinner, and the sides are now completely flat. That's more than just a minor refresh. But do I actually like these changes? I'm not sure. The phone is lighter, and the smaller bezels are nice, but those flat sides make it feel bulkier in hand, even though it's technically thinner than the S24 Ultra. And the edges? So sharp, you could probably cut an apple with them. Samsung softened the corners for comfort, yet somehow, the edges feel harsher than ever. If you're using a case, it's no big deal. But if you go caseless, the S24 Ultra actually felt better in hand. One more thing, Samsung's signature boxy Ultra look, a direct nod to the old Galaxy Note lineup, feels a bit watered down this time. If you loved that classic Note aesthetic, you might not be a fan of this change. Performance, an absolute beast now. Let's talk about something I do like, performance. This phone is an absolute powerhouse. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Elite paired with One UI 7 makes everything feel ridiculously smooth. No lag, no hiccups, whether it's heavy gaming, multitasking, or even using DeX. And get this. Samsung's custom version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 Elite is actually more powerful than the same chip in other phones. But raw power means nothing without good thermals, and Samsung nailed the cooling on this one. Thanks to a larger vapor chamber and solid optimization, heat management is impressive. Even after an hour of maxed out gaming, I barely noticed any heating issues. Battery life and charging. Where Samsung falls behind battery life is solid. I consistently ended my day with 30 to 40% left, averaging 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. It's slightly better than the S24 Ultra, and honestly, I'm happy with it. I only need to charge it once every 2 days, which is great. But here's the problem. It's 2025, and great isn't enough anymore. Chinese brands are pushing 6,000 mAh batteries with next-gen silicon carbon tech, shrinking battery size while increasing capacity. Meanwhile, Samsung is still using the same old battery tech. I get that they're cautious after past battery issues, but it's time to step up before they fall too far behind. Charging speeds? Still stuck at 45W. Sure, Samsung included a new USB-C cable that charges slightly faster. But come on, some competitors are pushing 100W plus speeds. Samsung needs to catch up. Speakers, haptics, and what's missing now, onto the speakers. These have definitely improved. The speaker cutout is larger than the S24 Ultra, and side by side, the difference is obvious. Richer sound, deeper bass, and just an overall better audio experience. Haptics? No major changes. Feels the same as last year. Nothing to complain about, but also nothing exciting. But let's talk about what Samsung removed this time. Over the years, we've lost expandable storage, the IR blaster, the headphone jack, and even chargers. Last year, they ditched the 10x telephoto sensor for a 5x, which actually made sense. This time, say goodbye to Bluetooth features on the S Pen. That means no more air actions, no more remote camera shutter. Features that have been around since the Note 9. Samsung claims that less than 1% of Ultra users actually use these features, but that still means 200,000 plus people. And if this is their logic, what's next? DeX. Because let's be real, way fewer than 1% of users actually use that. If they keep stripping features, the Ultra line is just going to feel like another generic flagship. Display and camera. The good and the bad. Samsung made a few key display upgrades. They tweaked the anti-reflective coating, which I don't really notice, but I do like the new finish. The screen is also more fracture-resistant, but the trade-off? It's slightly softer than the S24 Ultra's display, meaning it could be more prone to scratches over time. The camera system looks similar to last year's, but there are two key changes. A new 50MP ultra-wide camera and upgraded image signal processor. The 50MP ultra-wide is a solid improvement over the 12MP sensor from the S24 Ultra. It's brighter, sharper, and has better white balance. Overall, image quality is slightly better than last year, with vibrant colors, solid dynamic range, and industry-leading portrait mode edge detection. But the 3x telephoto camera? Still 10MP with a smaller sensor, which feels outdated for 2025. If you take a lot of zoomed-in photos, this might be disappointing. Samsung also added some cool new features. Smoother zoom in both photos and videos. Log video recording for pro-level color grading now. Log recording is a big deal for content creators, but let's be real. Less than 0.1% of users will actually use it. It's funny how Samsung removed S Pen Bluetooth features due to low usage. Yet here they are adding a feature even fewer people will use. AI features, the biggest selling point? Just like the S24 Ultra, this phone is all in on Galaxy AI, and it actually works. Live call translation, smart search, AI-powered photo editing. Even object removal that can reconstruct faces if something was blocking them. And then there's Gemini AI. This thing is fast, handling complex tasks in seconds. Like adding a UFC event to your calendar without you manually looking up the time. It's faster and more useful than Google's Pixel AI, and miles ahead of Apple's early attempts. But here's the catch. None of these AI features are exclusive to the S25 Ultra. They'll eventually come to the S24 Ultra, and maybe even the S23 Ultra. So if AI is the biggest selling point, do you really need to upgrade? Final thoughts, worth it? Samsung could have done more, especially with battery and camera upgrades. But overall, the S25 Ultra is still an incredible phone. The display is stunning, the performance is top tier, and Galaxy AI actually makes daily tasks easier. Yes, Chinese brands offer bigger batteries and higher megapixel cameras for a lower price, but they lack the same polished AI experience and worldwide availability. At $1,300, this phone is expensive, but among the big brands, it's still the most premium and feature-packed option. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.